I'm the winner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons.
Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly. Vanessa,
Yes.
did you know that Paramount is going full bore on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this year?
I did not. What is happening?
Gee, I heard that too. But
what is happening?
Oh, right.
I did say I had norovirus, right? Okay, just
Let me
checking.
just adjust my spectacles. Set to launch on YouTube later this year, Teeny Mutant Ninja Turtles, a 30-episode CG animated series consisting of 4-minute installments to follow the childhood years. In June, a full novelization of The Last Ronin for adults.
Oh,
A novelization?
Yep.
weird.
Unnecessary.
Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Splinter's Dojo, a middle grade illustrated novel.
Oh.
And let's see. Paramount's new partnership with Mattel begins in 2027 with the release of action figures, play sets and accessories, vehicles, games, collectibles, role-playing items, and more products.
I just
Playing
heard that
games?
Playmates lost it. So,
Oh,
yeah, they've been reallocated. I'm not shocked. I mean, like, it's just the exact same stuff that's been happening, but now it's under Mattel.
Well, so Mattel, they're lining up because Mutant Mayhem 2 launches in 2027, and they have here the untitled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action animation hybrid film in 2028.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well,
we'll see.
We've been burned.
Yeah.
The
Live
last
action.
one was so big.
Yeah.
shelf's
Also,
too tight.
this is the one that really got me, and I was like, Vanessa needs to know about this.
oh,
Themed pizzerias opening in Santa Monica, Monterey, Mexico, and Brazil later this year.
yeah. I saw that too, and I went,
Santa
damn it.
Monica.
Santa Monica, not that far away.
Relatively speaking.
That's a 20-hour drive.
Well, listen, it's a destiny, or what do they call it? Destination vacation.
There you go. Yeah.
I've never been to Santa Monica. I haven't really done Southern California, so
Wow, this kind of shocks me as a filmmaker.
I know. I've been
Yeah.
to LA. I haven't been anywhere else. I've been to San Francisco and LA. It's like not really.
I know if you're
in between.
going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
Jesus. Good Lord, there's a
I
reference
feel like
nobody's
that's a
going to get.
really old song of some kind.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm wearing pantaloons.
Sorry, I'm checking something. I thought I heard a weird click. Oh, good.
Is that-
After last couple episodes ago.
The last time I went into San Francisco, I was just like, San Francisco treat, ding, ding. And waited for my free box of
Bullet.
pastaroni, and yet
Bullet, come on, man, Bullet.
it never arrived. That's very exciting. I'm down. More
Yeah,
Ninja
I saw
Turtles,
that,
the
and I was
better.
like, she's got to be just lining up already. And you're like, nope, no idea.
I
Didn't
have
even
no
know.
clue. Like this, I either know or I don't know, and it is vastly weird what knowledge actually makes its way to my shores.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty random.
Well, I got to say, a lot of that stuff was interesting to me. I liked the Last Ronin comic book enough that I will most likely pick up that novel.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm still reading, like, I haven't read the prequel or the sequels yet. So I feel like, yeah, that's my concern is, like, I still need to read all that before I worry about reading a novelization. I just don't know that I'm going to care that much about a novelization.
It's surprising sometimes, like Battle Royale
Yeah.
had that great movie.
Yeah.
And then they had the manga series, and they had a book. And they were all really good, and they were all slightly different.
Different,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
The
never
movie
know.
came last, right? It was the manga and then
I think the
book?
manga was
I think it was
first,
the
and then
manga
the
first.
movie, and but I don't remember because I saw the movie first.
Yeah, the book, I own the book and I've never dug into it because it's a Stephen King sized
It's big, yeah.
book. And I'm like, how is this story?
The
got
manga's
this
like
yeah, I know. You loaned
20
me those and it was ridiculous.
I started buying it, but they're so hard to get that like some of them are really, really expensive.
Really?
To get weird. Yeah,
I
mangas
might
are
have mine in
always.
storage.
There
Still,
you
I may
go.
have to.
You might get some on eBay. You might get a pretty penny for them.
There you
Sell them
go.
to me. You might get a pretty penny for them.
Hey guys, I watched some stuff here. I'm going to talk about something I love.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Good.
I'm watching it on Hulu. I think it's on FX, and it is called The Beauty, and is
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
Murphy's.
I've
No.
read the comics. that
Oh,
it's
is this based on a comic?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
Well, I wonder how close it is hewing to that. This is super interesting. It's got Ashton Kutcher in it. I saw a lovingly snarky message from his ex-wife, Demi Moore, saying, "Congratulations on your new show that seems a lot like The Substance." But it is nothing like The Substance.
Yeah.
It is about basically a STD that is traveling the world, and if you catch it, you have horrible fever and end up in a cocoon, and then you come out of it the most perfect version of yourself for a short time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like this not sketch.
And it seems that after a while, you get really hot and you try to drink all water, you get very violent, and then you violently explode in a shower of blood and guts. And the FBI is trying to nail this down, and we're about 5 or 8 episodes into it now, and so you're seeing how it started as a chemical thing that was going to be mass produced and used for the wealthy, of course, among us, and then the problem they didn't foresee is that it has worked as a STD, and as you pass it along to people, the pure people got it from the chemical,
Okay.
and the layers that it goes down as it passes are less and less potent. But it's a really, really interesting story. It's very gay. It's Ryan Murphy, so it's going to be the gayest version of this story, right? And it's gone in a couple of places that I was like, boy, here is a place that you could make a very interesting comment, and he didn't, and I'm like, I'm a little disappointed, Ryan. He's usually fine with stepping on toes, but apparently not now. But I gotta say, it is a great show. It is very sexy. It is very gory, and there's a lot of really dark humor in it, and a magnifying lens on how we look at people in celebrity and class values and stuff like that. I'm just really, really loving it. It's called The Beauty, and it is on FX or Hulu.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear that because I was really excited about it because I was reading about the comic, and then everyone's like, they're just ripping off The Substance, and I was like, I don't know how you rip it off when it's been in production for a minute, and it's the comic, and it's the difference. I guess they're both
It's
about...
just the whole Sinners thing last time I was talking about. Just because there's slight similarities
It just doesn't mean...
And having watched it now, there's like no similarity. I think the trailer made it feel like, okay, this is body horror and there's beauty involved.
Sure.
And so then you're like, well, it must be like this other thing that's body horror and beauty involved.
Because
but it is
nothing before The Substance did that before.
it is nothing like The Substance.
We can all like more than one thing too. I just want to put that out there. It's okay. It's okay to like things.
And I love The Substance. I like this story more.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to talk about something that I have so many feelings about, which is Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
Have either of you, are you up to speed?
I'm one episode behind.
I gave it.
You got to the hologram girl episode.
Yes.
I gave it 3 episodes and quit.
I'm a little surprised. I thought you'd make it like 1 episode.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe you did more than 1. This is the weirdest fucking show because I hate it so much in so many ways. And then there are other things that I love about it. Paul Giamatti's incredible. Holly Hunter? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing. I know she sits weird on the chair, and there are times where she just like does a thing with her neck, and I don't think that's her fault. I think that's the directing. But like they could shoot it a little bit more. Like she's a captain, she can stand up straight. It's okay. And I don't mind like some of the main characters, but then there's moments where there's going to be a few just some tiny spoilers. So there's like a Klingon character, and the Klingons are near extinction with the timeline and where we're at. And he has decided to go into medicine. So he's this soft version of a Klingon. He's sort of an outsider, much like Worf was an outsider. That's enough. It's enough. It's enough to be like, I'm kind of an outsider. Yeah. But then on the episode that focuses on his story, we also get a moment where I was like, are they going to make him gay as well? Look, I have zero issues making a character in Star Trek gay. Zero, except his story is enough. Guys, can we do this in 3 seasons from now? We're really focused on this other huge plot element.
I guess I didn't get that out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I missed something, obviously.
There's a really romancy with him and the guy who can turn his skin when he's teaching him how to breathe. And he gets really close, and they hold like their hands for like a second too long, and the Klingon guy goes, and he pulls them away.
You know why that didn't hit me that way? Maybe it's because the martial arts classes I took for about 7 or 8 years or something like that, there are training things that when you do sports and you do things like that, that men get into what appear to be more intimate things, like, you know, quarterbacks sticking their hands on the guy's butt. That did not hit me as being gay at all. It just hit me as a guy trying to train this guy in this technique.
They're building up this romance.
You're probably right.
I'm sure I am right. But yeah, there's just, it is so fucking extra, and I hate a lot of the costumes. They also put him in a utility kilt. I'm like, we don't need to. We don't need to put future man in the utility kilt and just this one man. We did it in Star Trek Next Generation Season 1. We put the men in dresses. It was kind of weird. It was fine. We're like, we can do other cool things with costumes. It's all right. Move on. And they're just fucking, nobody needs to wear weird,
that didn't bother me at all.
chunky clothes that make no sense. And
Isn't it also like 1,000 years in the future from Star Trek Next Generation?
Yeah.
You're telling me utility-kilts have survived? Who wants to live in this world?
And the shoes are the most ugly pieces of shit things I've... And the hologram girl is the worst. But they have the doctor, who's great. They're making references to Prodigy, which is amazing. It's episode 1. They're like, and Murph. And I was like,
the one guy,
Murph.
like, walk through the screen, walk through the...
there are so many cool bits, but there are so many infuriating. So I don't know how I feel. I'm going to keep watching it because it's like existing in a train as it's being wrecked. You're just holding on going, I hope I survive.
I feel the same way about it. Well, I'll watch one episode. Oh, this is great. Then, fuck, I hate this. Oh, this is great. Fuck, I mean, in one episode, it's just like, whew, this is quite the storyline to watch. But...
Yeah, and it's every other episode that you're like, oh, this one's really good, except for a couple things. But this one's really good. And the next one's, this is really bad, except for a couple things. This is really bad. And
very strange.
So it's such a weird experience. It kind of feels like watching an X-Men Academy series, but in Star Trek. It has that real, like... Not
what are their
energy,
superpowers going to be? Yeah.
Like every alien has got a thing, and it's extreme, and all classes are cool and weird, and we're doing crazy shit, and I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, the Star Trek fandom was funny with the black and white lady.
Oh,
everybody just losing their fucking mind, or they're supposed to be extinct. Like, well, you know, somebody might have been off planet. Somebody might have lived.
It's okay, guys. I don't mind that kind of stuff at all. It's neat that they remember that, you know, things exist.
I saw a great thing with Patton Oswalt interview the other day where he's talking about somebody called him like the patron saint of nerds or dorks or geeks or something like that. It's like, yeah, there's one problem with us, not all of us, but many of us, that when you've been a group of people that have felt excluded, when you start to feel included, a lot of people, instead of reaching out to feel more inclusive with more people, you want to find that person you get to now exclude. And boy, is that so true in fandom right now. You read through the stuff and you find the people that are like the gatekeepers are going, well, you don't know the third song on the fourth album by the bass player that originally played in Led Zeppelin that left after 2 rehearsals and shit like. And I think Star Trek is one of the worst. It's like the sci-fi geekdom is some of the worst.
It's traditionally been okay. Like, that's the thing I've loved about Star Trek is traditionally...
For a long time, yeah, they were the best.
But I agree, like, it feels really weird lately. It's a weird space. And, like, I'm part of a Star Trek wholesome posting group and a Star Trek shit posting group. And they're both just the best human beings. But you can start to see these weird things, like you're saying, where, like, that one alien should be dead. And I think since Disco, making this strange... all universe, and then we're traveling through time, and we're gonna fuck up with the timeline, and God, who knows where we are and what this means. I don't know what universe we're in at this point. I don't know where Pike is in comparison to these people.
No.
I am so confused, but you know, it's almost not worth it anymore. I love Next Gen, I love Voyager, I love Deep Space Nine. That's where my heart's at. I will follow this this thing because I love it, but it's
still when it gets good, it gets really, really good.
Yeah, like I think Prodigy was incredible.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys deserve to have your thing ruined, like Star Wars has been ruined.
I know Star Wars has been ruined
beat
so
to
many
death.
times. Yeah.
And I see the same problem, you know, in the original series and then in the Next Generation. Next Generation, who they grabbed? DC Fontana to run that, and she was one of the main writers from the original series. These people were raised on the science fiction of H.G. Wells and Ray Bradbury and all of this stuff. You know, you had Harlan Ellison writing for the original series and shit like that.
Yeah.
They brought an experience of 100 years of science fiction, the best science fiction and speculative fiction that had ever been written, that will ever be written, because there was nothing before it.
Yeah.
The writers in Star Trek are fans of Star Trek, and they're just eating themselves now with all of these series and everything.
J.J. Abrams trying to do the like cool, like we're gonna make Star Trek cool again thing, where it never was about being cool.
Yeah, it never was cool.
Well, and he was just writing from his love of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you know, you get. Everybody brings their influence to it, but if their influence is just 60 years of something that they're doing again, then it's never going to be as good as it could be.
Yeah, to get the recipe of that correct, you're only going to get it in something like cartoon. Holy moly, guys. Holy
We can need a little context here.
Yeah.
Lower Decks.
Star Trek.
Yeah, Lower Decks, where that's clearly
yes.
fans, and I think it's done right. Or Picard season 3, where it's a giant fanboy, but also a good writer who figured out how to make that show, which was one of the worst written pieces of writing on planet Earth, not even television, writing ever constructed, Picard season 1 and 2. But to like save it, like there are moments, these flickers of light in it, but there's so much. That's why I get so mad at Alex Kurtzman. I just freaking hate this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like he's the worst thing that's ever happened.
It is the most toxic thing you could possibly throw into this series.
But
this show.
Yeah, that's a bummer because, you know, there is still other stuff, historical things that could be used as context to bring in to new stories like they were doing in the Next Generation and stuff like that. And even the stuff they were trying, you know, Enterprise was a pretty bad show, but you could see that they were pulling in stuff from the real world. We, you know, we had 9/11 attacks during that and everything. They were like, oh, let's suddenly shift. I don't see that happening in these new shows.
It's all pulling from the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, and so now you're like, well, the only people who can be pleased by this are young fans now, because that's all they have as a view.
That's why I'm saying this feels so Gen Z or Gen Alpha. It's not for people like me. It's definitely not written for people.
Also,
like
I was one of the people that was just like watching Holly Hunter curl up in her captain's chair and then tell somebody in her quarters when they came in, stand at attention. I'm like, how could you possibly take a captain who goes barefoot and doesn't sit in her chair correctly as authority?
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, this is just storytelling problems right now. I get that you want to give her quirks, but she's a tiny person. That's quirky enough.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things that she could be going through just for people looking at her at being 5 feet tall.
Maybe they'll figure it out and start doing some rewriting, because that's what happened with Janeway. They had that horrible hairstyle for a long time. And they finally listened to people, and then they were like, no one can watch this show without gritting their teeth because her fucking hair sucks so much ass. And then they finally fixed it. And I was like, oh, thank you. We just needed a slight alteration.
The whole show's good now.
The whole show is so much better.
There's a interesting book I just got from Severin, of all places, which you might be interested in, from what you were just saying. Dangerous Visions and New Worlds, Radical Science Fiction from 1950 to 1985.
Oh, cool.
And it's books, which was so surprised I got it. There you go. Oh, this is about books. But it fits that world you're talking about. I mean, it's hard to think of the super, super new worlds that are being created by writers or movies or anything that don't feel based on depth as opposed to based on...
Yeah, I think,
I don't know.
What's his name? Akiva Goldman is still involved in all the Star Trek stuff. This is a guy who should have been kicked out 15 years ago, and he's still got his thumb in the Star Trek pie. And so, what it really needs is a shot of new, young writers who are not Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who come to it with a different background.
Good, interesting writers. Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
Well, speaking of fandom, and the
so,
depths it can be taken to and the weirdness it can create, Netflix is selling Superman.
Oh, is that on Netflix? I watched that on Prime.
You're right, it's on Prime. It is on Amazon. I even went to Netflix and looked it up, going, where the fuck is this? Oh. But you recommended by Kelly over here, and it's fascinating.
Compelling stuff. Did you finish it?
Yeah. It was hard not to. I mean, it's only like 4 episodes, so.
Yeah, but they're
an hour
long.
Yeah,
so
but once it starts, like maybe I'll do email and let this play.
Yeah.
But frustrating at times, very frustrating at times, but also
tell
very
people
insightful.
what it's about.
The whole idea is there's a guy who had somewhat of an abusive father. Not when you say abusive, you think of something specific. It's not that, but he was
maybe neglectful would be.
Neglectful, and what was I forgot what the term was that we don't use anymore. That Asperger's.
Oh yeah.
And he was a comic book collector. And they just kind of thought he was a quirky little guy who bought some comic books until he died. And they found out, oh my God.
Yeah.
They have like an entire run of Superman from issue 1 to sometime in the 90s.
Yeah.
Not missing a single issue.
Yeah.
And
including Superman number one.
Wow. And in phenomenal condition, like one of the top 4 books ever found. Batman number 1.
Yeah.
And then, like you had mentioned, it's not just that, it's that they have like 20 copies of the first Spawn or 15 copies of the giant size X-Men or things like that, where it's just, and lucky for this guy, he was fairly wealthy on his own.
Yeah.
So he was able to dump money in and just create this little business, or his entire business is just figuring out how to deal with this giant collection, which, I mean, they barely touched on all the toys and stuff he also had. It's like,
yeah, the guy was like some kind of, I mean, you would call him a hoarder, but he kept things
organized.
Organized. And the son had no idea really what he was dealing with until the dad died. And then what he's dealing with, spoiler, is like $1 billion comic collection.
Wow.
And so he has to now figure out, he's moved it into a secure place. I mean, and it's like
secure
knocks,
Yes.
and he's starting a business where he's like slowly putting these books out because they didn't realize that there was a Superman in the wild that was in this good a condition. That changes the whole speculative market.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he has like 20 copies of The Flash number 1. They didn't realize there were 20 copies of that in this kind of shape. So he's got to be careful about how he even gets
'Cause
rid
he'll,
of
like,
them.
unvalue himself and other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
You can't just put 20 up for auction
Right.
someplace.
Because all of a sudden they're not worth as much.
Yep.
And so it's a really interesting, fascinating
and
story.
he is a compelling person with a
Yeah.
lot of issues, a lot of things he's working through, and
Yeah.
pretty vulnerable about it at times. I can
Is
see
this a movie or a show?
the series is like about 4 or 5 hours, 4.5 hours,
Yeah.
something like that, and compelling the whole way through. It doesn't feel. I don't feel like I watched 4. I feel like I watched a 90-minute movie packed with really.
It's just, it moves fast
Yeah.
when you're watching it. I was the same way where I was like, oh, I'll give this a try. And then half my day was gone and I had watched the entire thing. I also then found out the company that put that out is called Nacelle,
Yeah.
which I believe are the Star Trek things, right? That's the Star Trek engines.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones that did that huge Star Trek documentary series that was like 50 years of Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
And then I found out they've done Batman, Spider-Man, Marvel Comics documentaries, and they do them all in these 1-hour chunks, and they're episodes long. It came from, I think, maybe Epic, that channel that lasted for a brief time. And they've just dumped all these on Prime, and I've just been gobbling them all up. They're really interesting.
Well, they did such a smart thing in this one because, I mean, they have all those giant books, but Batman #1 is like barely even mentioned. It's there, but they latched on to the Superman was part of this guy's childhood. It's such an important part of him as a person and his family that they just sort of put everything. They talk about everything else, but they just sort of put all that stuff to the side, and it's almost all about the journey of dealing with, should I sell it? Should I not sell it? What do I want to, it just,
and
it's really, really good.
The thing they don't mention is that, he's got that Superman and the Batman in there. That is not the bulk of the value of this collection.
Yeah.
He's got all these other various copies of #1s and long runs and stuff like that. And that's making the bulk of this literally billion-dollar collection.
Yeah.
And it is crazy.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was really weird for the collectible stuff in there was how they didn't divide the shelves a little more. Instead of, they had 2 long boxes sitting on top of each other. It's like, put one more shelf in there.
Seems like
it's just one long box per shelf. So it's like,
I think a lot of what they showed us was the stuff that is not as valuable.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Too, because he's also very secretive about like where this location is. And
good on it.
They had that one they showed to the guys who saw it out of the back of their car, that one vault, which they sort of gave a shot to, and then focused on the people looking at the books.
Yeah, it is like a vault.
Wow. I mean, you need it because if it's worth that much money, it's easy enough for somebody to be like, oh, if it's just in this like rinky-dink.
Yeah, which is how it was with his dad. It was just in a room in the house. And nobody kind of, he didn't let anybody go in and look at his comics or anything. So they didn't really know what they had.
Yeah, couldn't tell their friends.
They knew they had Superman #1 and weren't allowed to say anything about it because the dad was like, if somebody will break in and steal this. Wow. Really, really interesting stuff. I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Selling Superman on Prime. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to talk about this, you guys. I saw Anaconda.
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
I did not expect that to come out of your mouth.
Yeah, that was not.
Jack Black and Paul Rudd's reboot of Anaconda as a comedy. They play lifelong friends who, when they were kids, made movies and everything, and then they get the rights to the Anaconda movie, and they're going to do a reboot of it. This movie is bad.
Yeah.
And bad in a way that I did not think was possible. I was so disappointed. I was like, oh no, I thought this would be fun.
Yeah,
and
the trailer sure looked like it.
This movie is garbage, you guys. I feel really bad because I do think that this had to be like Jack Black's idea, and it's just,
Jack, try again.
There's humor to be had in this, and they miss it completely. So this is out for rental, and I would tell you guys to, if you feel like you need to watch this, please wait for free streaming.
Don't pay any
Yeah.
extra money.
Jack Black
And a
is a
gun.
tough one. Yeah, sometimes he hits gold, so you think it's going to be good. But I've seen Pick of Destiny. I've seen Nacho Libre. There's a lot of oof in there.
There's
So
you got your School of Rock on one hand,
yeah,
and you got your Pick of Destiny.
and then you got Behind the Line, and you're like, why is this not good? What is it not? What is it not doing? It
Yeah.
should be good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really torn because I had planned on talking about Strange New Worlds, but we've talked so much about Star Trek already. I think I'm going to switch to Hijack Season 2.
Oh yeah. Tell me
Again,
about
another
it.
one I keep forgetting is out.
It is incredible.
Really?
Oh
good.
my God. I don't think anybody's watching this thing, and they should.
I haven't watched it, and I love the last
first,
season.
yeah, the
Yeah,
first
last
one.
Although I
season-
am like, how many times is this guy going to get hijacked?
That was my first thought too. I was like, it's a little stupid. It's a little stupid that the train you're on just happens to also be hijacked. But the twists in this story are so fun. And they make, like, it really does feel like you're watching the first episode going, come on, come on. And then by the time I think we're on episode 4 or 5, it's like, fuck, yes, absolutely. I am in it. Just, yeah, I'm on it for the ride. So it has a lot of recurring actors from Dark. Did you ever see The Dark, the German program? Yeah, so this takes place in Germany.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Huh?
Yeah, on the U-Bahn. And yeah, so I was like, you are so, you're the girl. You're the old lady, just because I only have so many humans who are incredible actors. So it's fun to see a little who's who on that. But
That's very cool.
I'd say check it out. Idris is always a joy to watch.
Yeah.
I think that the story they came up with is really, really fun.
That's on Apple, right? Is that?
Yeah, Apple.
That's probably why nobody's watching it.
Yeah.
I know.
Such a great streamer that
Such a
nobody
good
watches.
streamer.
Hijack.
Okay, I've got one that's totally frigging crazy.
Oh.
It's called Student Confidential, 1980 something, mid to late 80s. It's made by a man who made a fortune by inventing a vinyl record cleaner that was sold at Kmart.
Oh.
Decided he was going to make a movie. He wrote, produced, directed, edited, scored, and starred in the film. And everything that comes with it is immediately what should come to mind. It is bizarrely bad, but entertaining in a really, it's a really strange movie. The idea is that guy, Richard Horan, is a super wealthy character in the movie, but he gets his jollies or something by manipulating people. So he becomes a student counselor and starts messing with the kids a little bit, but in oddly positive ways with a twist of nefariousness going on.
Wow. Okay.
None of it is he wants to seduce there's 2 guys and 2 women, 2 girls he's working with. No sex involved. One of the ladies uses that as her thing, and he gets pissed at her when she tries to seduce him. So he's not about that, but he's like, there's one guy who's a computer expert, and he said, I'll give you the greatest job ever if you do something. Part of what makes this such an interesting thing, and I haven't watched it yet, but the main reason I got it was the documentary. Because he made this movie. He was so excited about it. It went out, it vaporized by critics and stuff like that, just attacked. Picked up by Trauma.
Sure.
It's weird trauma film because it's not real. It's more of a drama than it is anything else. It's very strange. And it was, the reviews were so bad that he told Trauma to destroy the originals, destroy this movie completely.
Wow.
Some dude out there loved this film when he saw it when he was, probably, I don't know, 15 or something, and has been trying to get it found and released ever since. Severin found it, released it, and went to the guy and said, we want to do this. And the guy's like, the movie I had. And so apparently there's a lot of excitement and stuff like that. I think they did a screening with him there. I don't remember all the stuff they've done involved with it, but that damn Severin podcast is so good at selling their films, and the way they describe this and the things like, guess I'm getting this one too. And I'm well worth getting because it's such a strange, weird little like was it Empire of the Dark, where the person making it is giving so much that you're like, okay, you're not really good at this, but damn, you're giving it everything you've got. So I don't know if that floats your boat. Check it out. It is. I forget. Severin sometimes streams with Shudder. I think. I don't know if they'll stream this one. It's definitely not horror, but.
So this is like a new release.
Yeah.
Then.
I
Okay.
got it like last week.
Okay. Huh. Wild. Stream confidential.
Very weird.
Well, cool. How about we take a little break, guys? And then when we come back, we're going to talk Starman.
Starman.
Yes.
Ford Super Duty trucks, you know John Carpenter Ford in Moulton, Alabama is power stroke country. Folks, we've got flatbeds, we've got crew cabs, we've got all the hard-to-find models of John Carpenter Ford in Moulton. And flatbeds. We got one of the best selections of the hot new Ford Escape in Alabama. And folks, we got a great selection of the Ford Explorers. We have the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drives, Explorers Force. That's John Carpenter Ford, downtown Moulton. Come on over to the power stroke country, folks.
And we're back.
I'm awake.
Vanessa, we're all picking one movie and making everybody watch it and talk about it. And this was your pick.
Absolutely. Starman from 1984. This is a John Carpenter joint.
In 1977, Voyager 2 was launched into space to the outermost regions of the universe. It carried an invitation in all languages for alien life forms to visit our planet. Someone, somewhere, listened and accepted our invitation. Get ready. Someone is coming. Someone like no one she has ever known before.
Can you clone a living organism from the hair of a dead man?
We're hypothesizing a technology that's probably 100,000 years ahead of it.
He has powers we cannot imagine, and the face and touch of the man she loved.
I send greetings. What's the matter with you?
How much English do you understand?
I understand greetings in 54 planet Earth languages.
Do you seriously expect me to tell the President that an alien has landed, assumed the identity of a dead house painter, and is presently out tooling around the countryside in a hopped-up 1977 Mustang?
You're not from around here, are you?
Think of what it would mean to talk to a being from a civilization like that. Think of what we could learn.
You don't understand. There isn't much time, please. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. Can't you just leave him alone?
What the hell ever happened to good manners? We invited him here.
So far to come, so much to do, so little time to fall in love. Look up. Company's coming. John Carpenter's Starman.
Free on Prime. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I can't believe we hadn't discussed it before. It's absolutely crazy to me.
And I will admit right now, this was a first-time watch.
I am so excited to hear what you think. Let me get through some of the minutiae, the
you do your thing.
Bits and pieces. Directed, of course, by John Carpenter. 34 credits, including Halloween, The Thing, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live, Mouth of Madness, and The Fog. If you ever want to just watch movies about fog, let me tell you, it should be up there. Written by Bruce A. Evans, Ranald Gideon, Dean Reisner, uncredited, and I will talk a lot more about that later. Starring Jeff Bridges as Scott Hayden. He also plays Starman. 97 credits, including Big Lebowski, Tron, Iron Man. Karen Allen as Jenny Hayden, 75 credits. You would know her from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Charles Martin Smith, who's in American Graffiti, Richard Jackal, who's in a million things, 194 credits, including Dirty Dozen, Airplane 2, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Jeez. And I was excited when I saw George Buck Flower as a cook/driver. So.
Also, Charles Martin Smith directed Trick or Treat.
Oh, snap.
Nice. Which is one of those weird, why did he direct that movie?
That is so strange, but so cool. I love that. The budget for this was $24 million, and although the box office was $28.7, it was kind of considered a bust. I think it was like a sixth of the movies on that opening weekend. It just didn't do great. So the story, though, the Voyager 2 space probe is transmitting in space and intercepted by an alien spaceship, which goes on to have first contact with Earth. As it approaches Earth, the U.S. government detects it and shoots it down. It lands in Chequamegon Bay, Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsinians, Wisconsinites for
Cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads for messing that up. This is also where recently widowed Jenny Hayden has gotten really drunk and passed out while mourning her dead husband, Scott. The alien floats around, learning all about the relationship, checking out her house, and then uses a lock of Scott's hair to clone itself into Scott's body. Jenny walks downstairs to see a weird glowing baby on the floor, which morphs into her dead husband in one of the craziest body horror sequences ever to exist in a romance outside of The Fly.
It was uncomfortable looking. You know, one of the things that struck me is when we meet her, she's watching like a 8mm home video on a projector and everything, and I was like, how far we have come away from this.
So crazy.
I was like, if a kid's watching this, would they go, she has a projector in her house? That's ridiculous.
Right.
But
I had that thought too. I'm watching going, man, we've changed a lot since the 1980s.
We have slides, lots of slides in our house.
Yeah. The transformation, it's like whatever effect we need to use to make this happen. We're going to use this here. We're going to use this kind of effect here. Use this kind. It's wild how many different effects were used for that transformation.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
did you feel like I was made uncomfortable by how much the baby looked like Jeff Bridges already?
It was very weird.
I was like, they've done something to that poor baby's head to make him look like Jeff Bridges.
When it's like a young adult and it's about to become just him, I noticed they didn't show the face, and I was like, maybe it was just too weird. Maybe they were like, you know what, we've done something a little bit too creepy here.
Uncanny
We're setting
Valley.
the wrong tone, because it sets the wrong tone for what this movie is.
The opening sequence is horror movie. I was like, wow, this is very much a John Carpenter horror film right
100%.
now.
100%. And like, you know, and you kind of get this soft music that plays over and over and over again. But you're like, okay, I guess it's fine. And she stumbles downstairs and she just stands there watching this baby on her floor just transform, and you're like, into her dead husband. I'm like, this would, like, you need to squish it. You need to murder it. Like, this is really upsetting.
Yeah. It's movies like these that will get you killed, because you should squish something if you see like that. Right.
Yeah.
But because you've seen this movie, you'll be like, maybe I should wait and see. Maybe this is a good thing.
They'll turn into my dead husband. And
be really actually quite nice, and it only has a mission apiece. The alien Starman came to Earth with 7 spheres to provide which provide energy to perform miraculous feats, and some very pedestrian, like making a basic map of the U.S.
That's a little weird.
I know. And uses the first one to send a message to his people saying Earth is hostile and to rendezvous with him in 3 days' time at a specific point.
Yeah.
The government are circling above. They have tracked where this spaceship has crashed. And he basically asks her to take him to the rendezvous point. She is really in this strange state. She's too scared and seemingly a bit curious to say no, so she agrees. But she also feels like she's being kidnapped, so she's frequently trying to escape. Thus begins an insane road comedy sci-fi romance. He slowly masters what it's like to be human, including speech, figuring out what hunger is, flipping the bird.
Mm-hmm.
She teaches him how to drive badly. Use credit cards. He resurrects a dead deer at a gas station and has a bar fight. Eventually, she stops trying to escape, and his strange, quirky ways win her over. He explains he's going to die in 3 days, so she really is like, okay, I'm going to help you get to your rendezvous point so you don't die. The government, meanwhile, are attempting to figure out what happened and trace the trajectory of the UFO. Jenny and Starman end up on the run from the NSA and director George Fox, who arranges for the army to capture Starman, dead or alive, so they can dissect him. A SETI scientist named Mark ends up wanting to help him. It's very sweet. I want to know about alien life in space. And I'm going to stop you while you're eating cherry pie.
I made this gold record.
We have this gold record. There were these gold records in space. While on the run, Jenny explains love and how she couldn't have a baby. Slowly, she begins to have feelings for Starman. They hide away on a railroad. They're hiding at one point and traveling on a railroad boxcar. They end up having sex. There, Starman tells Jenny he gave her a baby. It's not creepy. He assures her she is pregnant, and Scott is the father, but he also has Starman DNA, and that her baby will become a teacher. Finally, as the government closes in on them with lots of helicopters, they reach the bottom of a crater, and he returns back to his spacecraft. Before he goes, he gives her the last sphere, saying her son will know what to do with it.
The most uncomfortable part of the sex scene is not him saying, I gave you a baby. Mm-hmm. It's having sex on straw cannot be comfortable.
No, that's gotta hurt.
That's gotta be itchy and gross. Too. And I was like, I don't care how hot both these people are, the sex is not sexy.
Well, and Jeff Bridges really commits to the bit where I've got it in the trivia here, but he studied ornithology and the behavior of birds to prepare for his role. Yeah. So during the sex, he's still doing a lot of his like bird gesture movements, and you're like,
stop.
I don't know, man. This is not romantic-y. Like, you're not selling it.
I think the strength of this script and both of their performances is you really start to fall in love with him as she does.
Yeah.
And he keeps doing things at the right time to make you fall for him and everything. I mean, the thing of him bringing the deer back to life is really touching and sweet, and the awe on her face when she sees it and everything. And of course, it's a really nice setup for when he has to do that with her. Yeah. But by the end of it, you totally believe she has fallen in love with him.
Yeah, 100%. It is a really well-told romance.
Yeah.
Considering, like, it's got low budget, it's got a lot of quirks, but there's just something really, like, nice about it. Mm-hmm. Every time I watch it, I just fall in love with it a little bit more.
Yeah. It's a bit of a tearjerker.
I did find that mentioning the deer scene a little bizarre, not because what he did was great, but the people's reaction.
Oh, where they're really pissed?
Yeah, it's like...
They're like, you stole my meat!
You put my deer away. It's like, well, that's really not the part that would have surprised me if I came out and the deer I just shot got up and ran away.
Well, the thing is, the reaction is not very realistic because they didn't see the deer leave, right? But where is the fucking deer? Wouldn't that be the question? It's like, okay, what did you do with it?
They think he stole their meat, but I'm like, he doesn't have it on him. He's not covered in deer carcass or anything.
600 pounds.
Yeah, where do you think? Why don't they just go like, where's my meat? Like, is it in your trunk? Let's get it. Like, instead of being like, I'm going to punch you. You fucked with my deer.
Although it did lead to that great scene of him. Like, sometimes there's things in movies where something awkward happens, but it leads to something great.
Right.
And that was one of those scenes where him getting beaten up and then her deciding she's not going to run away. And she's going to defend him. It's like,
she's like, I can't leave this guy alone. He's he's going to get himself killed.
Yep.
Yeah, she realizes just how vulnerable he is. And I think that's something neat too, is I always love a film where the girl does the right things. And when she's trying to escape, a lot of times she does the right thing.
Yeah.
She spins her car out in front of another car, gets out, says I'm being kidnapped and runs.
Yeah.
She leaves a note with like the license plate number in the bathroom stall and like phone number and like help, blah blah blah. Like she's so smart. even though you could also be like, well, why didn't she just say fuck off to him? But you can see her evolving and being more and more curious and not being able to run away because she loves her husband.
Yeah.
And she can't tear herself away from this physical embodiment image of her husband.
I would push on the people that annoyed why she doesn't just go because of that. And she also doesn't fully understand. She watched him explode a tree.
Oh, that's true.
And so she doesn't
know his dangerousness.
know what he's going to do if she just tries to disappear on him.
It's true.
And I mean, even when she tries to do that thing with the bus, I love that she goes to the waitress and said, give him these things so he can still survive, but I need to go.
Yeah, she leaves the wallet and the keys and the money, and she says, I, just give this to him when I go.
Yeah, it is a pretty damn good film.
Yeah, so you liked it.
Yeah, I did.
First time viewing.
It is a little bit of its time, but not painfully of its time, And I loved the ending.
Yeah.
I just loved the way it ended. I was like, okay, this is really fair, except for John needed to pull his AD aside or himself maybe a little bit and work on the soldiers' background people. Because, man, they just look like,
oh,
I'm bored here. I don't know what to do. Jesus, come on, guys. But,
well, if it's anything like
checking their, equipment or something.
If it's anything like any of his other shoots, he's out of money by this point and he's just trying to get the shot.
Yeah, that was a lot of helicopters.
They had a lot of money.
Yeah,
they
that
had
was
to have had a fair amount.
That was something else. I thought Charles Martin Smith was also so goddamn likable in this, and and you just really love him. That he's like, we invited them. How How about manners?
Yes, he was a great, especially for the time movies made. The military guys were just rote. I mean, that is what all military guys did in all the alien movies. Usually the person who cared about them surviving would have been either her or Starman himself. But they had this kind of different character who was in the middle of everything, knew everything that was going on, but was like, no, let's not destroy this. Whatever is happening here.
Yeah. It's like his entire life exists for this, and now it's, finally they've made contact. And it's like, guys, you sent the record into space. Guess what?
We wanted him to come here.
Yeah. Also, I think that, I forgave if there was ever any question in a scene of why is she still with him, I forgave it all because this looks like her husband.
I know.
And I think that, once you remember that, you're like, oh my God, we meet her and she's just devastated at the loss of her husband. And here is this person who looks just like her husband.
The opening scene is one of the best, I think, out there. Because it's just, you immediately find out everything you need to know without her.
No exposition. It's all right there.
She's just sitting there drinking, watching old footage of like her and her husband goofing around, and it's just that immediately makes you feel so much for her. You just want to cry. And so when he morphs into it, you can see like she can't even stop the tape of him, let alone now he's here, like just piece the fuck out on it.
Right. Yep. I also loved how, everything about him turning into her husband. We flip through the photo album and he pulls up like a 3D version of Scott's head and analyzes it, and then it just happens to have a lock of hair
and taped down.
Which I have a lock of my baby hair in a photo album, and I was like, this was a 70s thing, that people did, and I was like, well, this makes perfect sense. Now he's got his DNA, knows exactly what he's going to look like, and I just really loved how everything in this script slotted together, and even some of the ways they get away makes it just made me kind of nostalgic for a time where they're hiding out in the hotel and the cops are there and these people who don't know them
Yeah.
help them get away from the cops because
Yes.
they're like, fuck the cops. These guys are trying to get into your car.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
That's right.
totally. That's and it feels so 70s too. It's so good.
So yeah, I really loved it. I kept thinking, especially because of the Charles Martin Smith character, I was like, man, this is. I'm going to double feature this with Close Encounters right afterwards.
Oh,
Sure.
Because
yeah.
it felt more like it was made in 78 than 84 or 85 or whenever this was made.
Yeah, 84.
I loved the music, which seemed to be a riff on Moon River, but I couldn't quite tell. I was like, is this just an accident that it's Moon River? Because it wasn't completely that, but I was like, this is making me think of this for some
I
reason.
didn't find
Sound-alike,
any
sort of.
trivia on it, but I rewatched a couple scenes, and every single time it would start on the same bit of music, and I was like,
Right.
okay. We got a couple.
And Karen Allen is so beautiful in this. That final shot of just her face being beautifully lit and everything. I was just kind of staring at her, going, "Wow!" I mean, everybody must have just been in love with her.
Oh, for sure.
Back then. My only complaint at the end was, now I need a little Close Encounters moment where, you know, the agent comes rushing down to her and he's like, you know, we're going to need to talk to you about a few things, if you know, and just something to know
A little closure.
that she's okay, because otherwise she's got the entire U.S. military surrounding her, and the credits go. And I was like, man, I hope she's going to be okay.
I know. I feel like sometimes Carpenter does that, where you're like, just a nudge, just a nudge
Just
more.
give that Spielberg ending, just a little bit of that.
I did appreciate he didn't show the like beaming up. Like he kind of walks into
That
the
was
red.
neat. That was so
Wow,
cool.
it's so cool. And he just sort of, you almost can't see him in this red light anymore.
And it's snowing in Arizona and everything.
And it's so, it's so cool. And then I was like, oh, like, I can't remember if they're going to like show him getting beamed up or not. And then I was like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't.
Yep.
He's just gone.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah,
luckily, I do know that she's okay, because then I watched the 3 seasons of Starman TV series that came
Oh,
out.
did you?
In that? I never saw the.
She's not in it.
Okay.
But her son is.
Oh, is it about her son then?
Yeah, her son was Christopher Barnes. I don't know if you remember this actor, a young guy, pretty good. I think this might have been a Canadian series or something.
Oh, wow.
And then the Starman was played by what's his name, Stryker from Airplane.
Oh shit!
And he comes down, and then he and his son. It's basically an Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
They go from town to town and help people in need, and meanwhile, the military is right on their trail.
And it was 3 seasons?
I think it was 3 seasons.
Wow.
I remember fucking loving it. It was at least 2 seasons.
Yeah, I remember seeing that like it was around, and I never investigated it very far because I think there was part of me that was like, "There's no way that's
no way it could be good, right?
There's no way it's going to be good or related."
Listen, I lived in a place where we didn't even get the 3 networks. Our television was so bad, so
You got a lot of
I got
Canadians?
CBC, Canadian Broadcasting, and so I remember, oh, good, Starman's on, something that I can watch.
It looks like it might have only been 1 season.
Oh man,
yeah,
what a bummer.
Well,
but 22 episodes,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. That's 3 seasons now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can have a pretty
2.5.
good time with that. 22 episodes. Yep. So yeah, I've got well,
As I say, you mentioned how good it looked. Shout Factory did a remaster a couple
They
years
did,
ago, and they really did it. I ended up buying the Blu-ray because it was on sale for like $10.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I'll get that. It's a Carpenter film.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those. I'll put that in my Carpenter grouping.
I mean, this has got to be top 5 Carpenter films for me. I think it's
so.
And I think it's beautiful. Everything is so softly lit, and I was just like, wow, this is
you really took
what a bummer. The $28 million on a $25 million budget or whatever. That's rough. I'm also like, what the fuck did you people want? He gave you this lovely movie, and you were like, nah, not interested.
Not sure what to do with this, because we can't sell John Carpenter in this film.
One of the big things they were very worried about was that it was too much like E.T. That's part of the reason why they ended up doing a bunch of rewriting on this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there was a big like stressor around that, and I think that might have, I don't know if it hurt it or maybe they did weird marketing because of that, but I think it really shifted the way in which they handled this film.
I mean, the title isn't helping it. Starman is not a great title.
It's not a great title.
Generic.
It's very true. So a little bit of trivia for you guys. Let's talk about the writing. So Starman spent 5 years in development at Columbia. The original script by Bruce A. Evans and Reynold Gideon was purchased by the studio at the urging of executive producer Michael Douglas. Evans and Gideon's first and only rewrite was rejected by both the studio and Douglas. Screenwriter Dean Reisner came on to the project in late 1981 after the director Mark Rydell left the project due to artistic differences with Douglas. Reisner had no idea that he would spend the next 2 years struggling with the incessant demands for rewrites, and eventually authored 5 rewrites of Starman for 6 different directors, but did not receive a screen credit because, according to him, the Writers Guild in their infinite wisdom decided I didn't contribute 50% of the screenplay. Carpenter personally campaigned for Reisner's credit, advocating Evans and Gideon's initial draft was entirely different movie, and than the shooting script that they authored. He said that the alien actually flew around like Superman in the initial script. Carpenter was reportedly outraged when the WGA arbitration ruled in favor of the original writers. So he resolved to thank his screenwriter by including him in an on-screen dedication in the film's end credits.
Oh.
The Writers Guild deemed Carpenter's on-screen accolade as deliberately provocative violation of their ruling, and for a short time, the Guild was threatening to force Columbia to destroy all prints of the film containing Carpenter's offending dedication.
Good God.
Yup. Yeah. So that must have been really fucking fun. According to John Carpenter, the main reason that he directed Starman was due to the box office disaster of The Thing, and he needed to make a movie that was tonally the complete opposite to ensure his employability in Hollywood.
Oops.
Yeah. Bridges was, well, at least he played nice, and I'm sure they appreciated that. It didn't lose money, much at least. Bridges was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role. It is the only John Carpenter film to have an Academy Award. He lost out to F. Murray Abraham for Amadeus. Bringing it full circle. He did a good job, but he was no...
Yeah, it's very different kind of
Yeah. John Carpenter wanted to use the United States of America as his very own backlot. So the cast and crew traveled from Los Angeles to Vegas, then Winslow, Meteor Crater, Monument Valley, Arizona, east of Nashville, Chattanooga, and Manchester, Tennessee, upstate New York, and Washington, D.C.
On a note of locations, they talked about Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's where Dina's parents met. That's college in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
They said that going, I know that name. So it's like, oh, cool.
That's awesome.
So they didn't go into Madison at any point. They just talked about it.
I know. I was going to say, they talked about it. I don't think we saw much of it.
No.
And like I mentioned, Jeff Bridges studied ornithology, the behavior of birds to prepare for the role.
Do you know why he chose birds?
He said he figured that the alien would not have human characteristics, and being encased in a human body would act with the base primitive animal instincts.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I have
tried.
a little note on budgets in general that I just learned, which was like heartbreaking to me. So a $25 million budgeted film needs to make $100 million to break even.
What? Wait, how?
Because $25 million for the budget in general on a big budget film, the studio doubles that. 25 million now goes into promotion, right?
Yeah.
There's 50 million. They put it into the theater. They have to split the ticket price with the theater. So if they make $50 million, they have only made half
25.
of their...
but not,
Oh, that's wild.
So, what was it? 25 million and 28 million is what he brought in.
So it would have been a big loss.
Big loss.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that's a bummer.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew they needed to double it. I didn't realize you needed to quadruple it.
Yeah, crazy. Now that's recent. I don't know if that would have been then, but still $3 million profit is not a profit.
Only have a couple other small things. When Jeff Bridges walks outside the house naked and uses the marble, his hair seems to stand on end. The effect was actually created by shooting Bridges hanging upside down and then matting the shot on the background the right way up to give him the surreal look.
I thought he was in water.
Oh,
There's something going on with his skin and stuff. That I thought he did it in water,
was
but
just hanging,
that would be
that's
the
all.
same.
Interesting.
The movie implies that Voyager 2 space probe's famous golden record included the Rolling Stones song Can't Get No Satisfaction. It did not. The only rock song included on the record was Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good. It also shows video footage playing, and I was like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't
think it
think
came with a video screen.
that didn't quite. I was like, can you like record the information of a video onto a record and basically do a laser? Was the golden record a laser disc? No. Yeah, I was trying to figure out
That
if
would
that
have
was
been
real or
a pretty
not.
heavy addition to a probe like that to have a LCD screen.
Yeah, and that the effect of that satellite is really the only bad effect in the film, where it's just like, oof,
I
totally
really liked
CGI.
the probe thing when he was flying.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a neat, obvious, but very subtle at the same time way to represent him flying around looking at things. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and I love at the end when the ship is coming down, at first you're not exactly sure what you're looking at. And it's the reflection of the crater in it, and it's just a big ball, and you're looking up at it going, what is that? And I thought that was just really brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope we're going to get into a little bit of the personal of this
I know,
crater.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
I should probably mention another reason why I love this movie so much. And so I got engaged at Meteor Crater.
Yeah.
So good on Austin. We went out on vacation. I love sites like this. I love going to like weird sciencey, if there's a bone of a dinosaur somewhere, I would really like to look at it. And so this giant meteor crater, he was very nervous, so I kept waiting. I knew it was going to happen.
Oh.
I knew. I mean, you do, like, come on. And so I kept waiting, and like we go to the gift shop, which by the way is the coolest fucking gift shop, because not only does Starman just play on repeat on the screens, they also had other disaster movies available for purchase. I was just like, this is the fucking coolest.
Oh, that's nice.
It was, like, I was so in heaven. It was one of my favorite shops I've ever been in. And then we put all this stuff away, and then we went back in, and the thing was going to close in like an hour, and then it was going to close in like half an hour. And then it was going to close in like 10 minutes. And we'd already done that whole walk around. We like looked at everything, and we're like going out to this like side like place to look an overlook of the crater. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, the guys are going to come and make us leave. And he finally starts proposing, and this family, there's a long walkway of just metal. There's no one else in this place anymore. This family, the mom, dad, and 2 kids slowly walk, and he's like, go start saying really quick. And I'm like, yes. And like, kiss. And then right as they walk up, and they can tell something's weird. And so they walk up and kind of look over the side and go, all right, let's go back. And they start leaving. And the mom comes back and she goes, did you guys just get engaged? They're like, yes. And she's like,
awesome.
do you want me to take a picture?
Aw.
So she took pictures. So it turned out to be all right. But that kid was terrified of asking me. So I have a special place in my heart for Meteor Crater. I love it very, very much.
That is so cool.
Yeah. It was great to see it, like, and not only, to watch we watched the movie right afterwards, and to see kind of how it looks there and them going down the side of it, which is crazy. But also we went into the Indian County gas station where they eat cherry pie. That's one of the few other locations that still
cool.
exists. It's not a cherry pie place, but
You're not allowed to go into the crater, right?
no.
Yeah.
No, not
I think that there's some weird
destroyed.
air anomalies in there.
I don't know. They initially, it's a weird story. The crater was investigated initially by somebody who thought they could make a fortune. So the person went there and was like, we'll dig and dig and dig and dig and mine and mine and mine. And there's going to be something incredible here. And nothing showed up.
Yeah.
And there were no like random fragments of the crater either. It was like kind of a weird mystery of like what
that's
happened
cool.
here. And so basically this guy who he was a very rich man, went completely broke. And so in the very middle, there's like basically just a giant hole
Oh.
from where that was. And then there's like an American flag. But yeah, you're not supposed to go down there anymore.
Now that
I'm sure in the 70s you
destroys
could
it
probably
and
just
stuff,
wander down there, but
Sure.
Or,
at this
you know,
point,
you pay the people keeping, we'll give you 50 grand if you let us send 2 people walking down the.
Yeah, they might, and then make you sign a lot of waivers because it is really sketch. Like it's a huge space. So to navigate the rocks and get down there, you'd be really ankle breaking situations. So
Yeah, it's like a mile across, right?
Yeah.
It's
huge.
Geez.
gigantic. It's
Holy
not
shit.
it's not as big as the one in wherever, South America or something, but
right.
I don't think that one's as impressive because like a meteor crater you can actually see to the other
can see the
side
other
and it's
side.
like a long ways away and you're like, wow.
570 feet deep, and it's 49,000 years old. So
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool. What a great selection. I really loved watching this again.
Yeah. Well, technically, it was actually your suggestion because I was floundering for a film.
I
and
don't
you're like,
think
we
anybody
haven't-
needed to say
Yeah, it's
this.
like, I didn't need to know
I want
that.
to thank you because I was like, holy crap, you mean we have not done not only a John Carpenter film, but one of my favorite John Carpenter films. So,
That's right.
yeah.
Well worth doing.
It was so fun.
Yeah,
really glad we
I'm
got to talk about
stunned that this was a first time watch.
Yeah.
I'm
I
always
was
stunned when I
too.
find you say that about a movie. I'm just like, how have you seen all these shit movies and you didn't see Starman?
I know. For every horrific one, you should watch at least one classic that you somehow, not even classic, just something middle to high tier out there that you've not yet gotten to.
That's well, horror wise, that's what I do the 100 days for.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Watch some crap and then, hold on.
You need like around, November or something, or January, a month where you watch like good movies. 100 good movies you haven't seen.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Well, I have the next pick, and I'm going to do something special for this. This is a first time viewing for you, Vanessa, because for a while we were doing the Amityville Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, that's right.
And we got all the way up to the last movie before the remake, which was supposed to be your movie.
Yeah.
We're going to watch the Ryan Reynolds Amityville Horror Picture.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Amityville
I don't know
Horror
why you want to
movie.
torture yourself like that, but
I want to be able to
Put a bow on
put
it.
a bow,
Yeah.
put a pin in the Amityville Horror Picture Show. And so I hope that we will do it like we would have done the old episodes with the old sound or the old music and everything.
Sure.
We'll do our regular, of course, talk about the movies we've seen, but we will explain about everything. And it's going to be kind of a bit of an interview for you, too, because I want to hear all about, your Amityville Horror
experience.
origin story and all the stuff we used to do.
You bring
Eric,
the
have you
trivia, I'll
seen the
bring the-
remake?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Oh, okay. Not a first time viewing for you?
No, sadly not.
You somehow decided you were going to watch that, but not Starman. The fuck is wrong with you?
This is what I'm saying, man. We need an intervention for Eric.
The idea of Starman, one of his least talked about films, popping up. It doesn't really.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a Carpenter completionist,
say that's.
but
Well, it's not. He may have something else I haven't seen, but I don't know what it would be.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
have
trying
you
to
seen
think.
Someone
I
Is
mean,
Watching? And
I never finished The Ward.
The Ward was rough.
oh, the word is rough. My other meteor crater story is that as a gift to my friend Micah, at one point I sent him a Carpenter themed birthday gift, one of which was 1/4 copy of the DVD of The Ward broken up. The other 3 I sent to the different corners of the earth with a note to please keep it separated, thus we may save the planet from this film again, which included Meteor Crater, The Fogs Lighthouse, and Antarctica. So never heard back from anyone, but they do all have a small copy of the Ward broken. I can just imagine they're just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, what am I going to do with this?
Awesome.
Okay. So that's what we're doing next week. That brings us to the point where we say, hey, everybody, thank you so much for being a part of this, for participating in the value for value idea, which is if you get a little value out of this, give a little value back. That can be in the form of liking and sharing posts when they come out, or sharing the release of the episodes when they come out, talking underneath the YouTube channel, I guess, is a big deal.
Make your comments. Many of
YouTube.
them
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my mom watches us on YouTube now because she likes to see our beautiful faces.
Does she still use the
so my mom.
transcripts?
I don't know if she does or not. I
Because
don't
I
know if they're
changed the way I
available.
did that, so I was curious if it still worked as well.
Okay. Another way you can support us is by actually sending cash.
That's true. Yes, we appreciate it so much.
We've gone completely wireless for the last couple episodes, and it is in part thanks to money that was donated to the show. So thank you so much for that. We are just who deserves this kind of stuff? Not me.
You decide.
But you guys.
People who want to
You
hear
decide.
really high quality and see really high quality. Every little bit that this show gets better is all thanks to you and the kind donations you send our way. So.
Yeah, and if you want to hear less of us, that'll cost you a little more. So think about it.
Just for us to have a comfortable lifestyle somewhere that means that we don't need to fill the voids in our lives with this podcast. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly right.
That would, thanks. If you can pull that off.
You can contact us on the Strange Hands Radio Talk page. You can contact us through email, I believe, on the Buzzsprout page. And Vanessa, where else can they contact us?
You can get a hold of us on the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266. You can text us. You can leave us a voicemail. We love hearing from you guys. We love knowing what you think about our episodes, our shows, and just, we like knowing more about our listeners.
I have a question. So they can text this number.
Yes.
Could they send pictures?
Probably, yeah. It's just a regular text message service.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Ooh, don't plant that out there.
Sure.
I'm not the one who looks at these.
Consider this a solicitation.
So,
just know that Eric's looking at this and I'm not. As somebody who's received way too many pics in her life, I'm just saying, when you open that door,
you might find something on the other side.
All right.
Don't call out unless you want to hear
I guess
about
the only caveat I'd put on that, if you want to prove to Kelly that the guys in Spartacus are real, and you can pull that off, feel free.
By all means. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I'm not going to see it.
Just don't pull
and I don't care for it.
Just don't.
Not a video?
No video. No.
All right, this has devolved into nonsense.
Very quickly.
Thanks again. We will be back in 14 short days. We are talking the Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. So if you want to play along at home, I'm sure it's available somewhere for free.
It was a fairly large studio release, so it's got to be out there somewhere.
All right. See you next time.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Starman.